laughing at him. Stop. They would get their, come on, they're 19-year-old freshmen, 18-year-old freshmen. We're talking about 21-year-old men on UNLV.
All top 15
They kill them. Yeah. And everybody, so many people agreed with him. I'm like, okay, fine. You bet, guys. Up next, Sal Paolantonio from ESPN is going to join the program. We'll get his best bet or bets for the week. He's going to be strong, I think, on Thursday night with Washington and Philadelphia. You find out who he likes next year on VSiN.
This Thanksgiving at Total Wine & More, find Pinot Noirs and Cabernets that you adore. Our helpful guides are so friendly and nice. So many bottles to try at the lowest price. So gather with friends as you sit down to eat. Grateful for all who made Thanksgiving complete.
With the lowest prices for over 30 years, you'll always find what you love and love what you find. Only at Total Wine & More.
Drink responsibly, B21.
If fashion is your thing, eBay is it. eBay's where I find all my favorites, from handbags to iconic streetwear, all authenticated. For real. This time, a little Supreme, some Gucci. I even have that vintage Prada on my watch list. That's why eBay's my go-to for all my go-tos. Yeah, eBay, the place for new, pre-loved, vintage, and rare fashion. eBay, things people love.
VSiN's got you covered for the start of the season with our football special. For $175, you'll get access to everything VSiN has to offer. With VSiN Pro, you'll receive daily picks straight to your inbox, detailed analysis on every game, and exclusive data like our betting splits to help you become a sharper bettor. Get all of this for just $175 through the Super Bowl, or try a monthly subscription.
Progressive presents the Sports Flash on Western Reserve Radio. Men's hoops on Tuesday, Illinois State beat Ohio 85-75. Miami of Ohio with an 88-70 win over Maryland Eastern Shore. St. Mary's beat Akron 87-68. MAC football on Tuesday, Toledo beat Central Michigan 37-10. The Rockets are 7-3 overall, 4-2 in the MAC. Bowling Green 5-1 in the MAC after a 31-13 victory over Western Michigan. Buffalo 4-2 in the MAC after beating Ball State 51-48 in overtime last night. Tonight, Miami of Ohio plays host to Kent State. The Red Hawks are 4-1 in the conference. Kent State 0-5. Akron's 1-4 in the MAC, 2-7 overall. They visit 5-4 Northern Illinois. 6-3 Ohio's 4-1 in the MAC. They're home against 5-4 Eastern Michigan. Bundle auto and home, renters or condo, and save with Progressive. That's the Sports Flash. Chuck Sanders, Western Reserve Radio.
I feel like I'm constantly cleaning hair off my bathroom floor. At least my Swiffer Sweeper makes it easy. Sweeper heavy-duty dry cloths have ultra-thick pads to trap and lock hairs, like a hair magnet. And when I'm finished cleaning up my hair, Sweeper takes care of his too. Now the hair is gone, all thanks to Swiffer. Try Swiffer Sweeper heavy-duty dry cloths. I promise you'll love them or your money back. And also try Swiffer Sweeper Wet to make quick work of tough, sticky messes.
Not sure how much you know about Progressive Insurance. You may know us for insuring your home and auto. You may know a couple of our commercials. But what you may not know is that since 2013, Progressive has been honoring veterans with vehicle donations through the annual Keys to Progress Veteran Vehicle Giveaway Program, giving back to those who gave so much. Now, you probably didn't wake up today saying, I really wish I knew more about Progressive Insurance, but this seemed like the type of thing people wouldn't mind hearing about. Find out more about how we're dedicated to our customers and communities at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
This is Matt Lipsack, the voice of the Youngstown Phantoms, and your home for Phantoms hockey is Western Reserve Radio.
You're listening to WRDB, Western Reserve Digital Broadcasting, Youngstown, Warren, Salem, and around the world.
Progressive presents the Sports Flash on Western Reserve Radio. Men's college hoops last night. Number 1 Kansas beat Michigan State 77-69. The Jayhawks are 3-0. The Spartans dropped to 2-1. MAC football on Tuesday. In overtime, Buffalo beat Ball State 51-48. Bowling Green over Western Michigan 31-13. Toledo routed Central Michigan 37-10. NBA Cup group play on Tuesday. The Pistons beat the Heat 123-121 in overtime. Kate Cunningham had 21 points, 7 rebounds, and 9 assists. Malik Beasley made a tie-breaking free throw with just over a second left after Miami was given a technical foul for calling a timeout when it had none left. The game was delayed for several minutes in the third when Tim Hardaway Jr. was injured. Detroit returns to action Wednesday night at Milwaukee. The Bucks are struggling. They're just 3-8 this season, but beat Toronto 99-85 last night. Bundle auto and home, renters or condo, and save with Progressive. That's the Sports Flash. Chuck Sanders, Western Reserve Radio.
Shop early, save big all month long during Black Friday build-up at Lowe's. Right now, get select pre-lit artificial Christmas trees starting at just $59.98. Don't wait to save. Shop these deals today, in-store or online, because Lowe's knows deals. Discount taken at time of purchase while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
After you use Bounce Dryer sheets and realize how fresh, soft, less wrinkled, and less staticky your laundry can be, you'll every time. Like those socks that smell like they've been through a marathon. Or that blanket that's got wrinkles on its wrinkles. Maybe even your chatty coworker who keeps distracting you. Okay, Bounce Dryer sheets can't do it all. But for fresher, softer, better laundry,
Welcome to Calvin's Barbershop.
You all got to see this.
I don't even want to know what you're looking at on that phone.
Well, you should. I was learning about the dangers of high blood pressure and that we need to get ours checked regularly. High blood pressure can increase the risk of heart attack or stroke, but this text program can help keep it at a healthy range. Just text barbershop to 97779 to sign up.
I'll get right on it as soon as I'm done with this baby panda video.
Text barbershop to 97779. A message from the American Heart Association and the Ad Council.
It's important to plan ahead for emergencies, like the storm. When it kicked in, we had a plan. We were able to get in touch with each other in no time.
How to find each other.
The whole experience was fine.
The most frightening 10 hours of my life.
If there's one piece of advice I'd offer other moms out there, it's to stay calm and keep to the plan.
Some parents plan ahead, some don't. Make sure you know where to find your family in an emergency. Start your plan at ready.gov. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Hello, Phantom fans, and welcome to Season 7, Episode 7 of the Dump and Chase podcast. My name is Sam Olmstein. Oh my God, I screwed up my own name.
Oh, you svoboded it.
This is what happens when you take a week off. My name is Sam Olmstead.
Sorry.
My name is Sam Olmstead, alongside Mr. Part-Time himself, Dan Conley, and the reason I was threatened in the concourse for taking a week off, Mr. Justin Irwin. Gentlemen, how we doing?
Much better. I didn't get threatened. Oh, I take that back. I was at a football game where we had to evacuate because someone had a weapon on them. So I guess roundabout way, so did I.
And I told you, tell your kids to leave those things at home.
And I work in Warren, so that's just normal. Yeah. One more football game to go, then we'll be done.
That doesn't sound very optimistic.
Yeah. You play Walsh, I think we're going to nationally rank. So we want to address the elephant in the room here.
I mean, I didn't think the Louis interview was that bad. That's right, Youngstown fans. For the second time in our show's history, we interview somebody, and within the next week, they're gone. And I'm not referring to main camp. I'm talking regular season. So
this has been a crazy year of interview and goodbye.
Yeah. We had Evan Werner a few years back, who I think was traded like a day or two after his interview released. And now Louis Wayman, no longer with the Phantoms. He is off to the BCHL with the secret tunnel under the Cavelli Center that leads all the way to Penticton, or however the heck you say it.
We wish him the best of luck.
He was a good kid. He was a good kid.
It was
great interview.
It was good to meet him. Good to talk to him. But that old gem struck again for us. Other roster news: goaltender Anthony Sherry was dropped off the roster, which we kind of figured that was going to be the case. He's now has been picked up by the Philadelphia Rebels in the North American Hockey League. So good luck to him there.
Mm-hmm.
Was really impressed with what we saw with him in main camp, what we got to see of him in preseason. Did not get any game action. He was essentially served as the backup for, I think, every game this season except for one.
Maybe two.
Maybe one or maybe two before this past weekend. But it was in the backup role. Never saw game action. But at the end of the day, I think he'll be okay. I mean, from what we saw from him, I don't think he's got too much to worry about.
No. We might be seeing him at a later date.
So in hockey in general news, which we've kind of discussed before, looks like the deal between the CHL and the NCAA has gone through. So now the NCAA will be giving eligibility to kids from the various Canadian hockey leagues.
And all the leagues put out a very similar blanket letter. Very weird.
Yeah, a lot of it was stuff that I don't think they needed to do, because I don't think anybody really expected much from them.
So what this means for junior hockey in general, nobody knows yet. I still question the ulterior motives of the CHL in this instance. I don't think it's as cut and dry as they're making it out to be.
No. This is not something that they were involved in or looking forward to, and their reaction is going to be very indicative of how things go for junior hockey in the next several years.
Yeah, we've seen it. It hasn't been breaking down the gates. I mean, we have seen a little bit here and there, just this migration of Canadian kids going back north again. So, I mean, are we going to see this big flow of Canadian players coming down to play college hockey? I mean, we don't know.
I mean, it's not like the CHL is known for wanting to let go of players before they're 20 years old.
Yeah.
Right.
So, I mean, the elephant in the room, so to speak, there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we'll see. There will be some adjustment. I think in the end, everything will end up balancing it out. We're not going to shift things too far in any direction.
Yeah. It seemed like the leagues were more happy than the fans were based off of online interactions.
I think the NCAA is just glad that hopefully this will keep them off the hook for a few more lawsuits. The CHL, maybe not so much.
At the end of the day, I think in the very beginning, it's serving the purpose that the CHL wanted. Is now the top end Canadian kids that came to the United States are starting to work their way back north. So I think in the short term, the CHL is getting what they're wanting. But again, we'll see how it plays out.
Be careful what you wish for, guys.
So now apparently this has somehow turned into a new segment on this show of doing these shout outs to people we question that if they even should be listening to the show to begin with. But I did get a request, so I want to make sure we give a shout out to Stella Ward. And if that last name sounds familiar, yes.
Yes.
Stella really wanted a shout out on the show since Theo Merton got one a couple weeks ago. We typically see her in the back rocking the jean jacket with the Phantoms everything all over it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very rocking a very 80s look with the jean jacket and just the patches and everything else all over it. But anything else you guys got? All right, and that's our show. Thank you for tuning in.
Great.
We'll talk to you next week.
That was well done, Justin.
All right, so coming up in this episode, for this week's edition of Phantom Files, we will be talking to defenseman Carter Murphy, and we will be previewing a 3-game weekend at the Cabelli Center with Cedar Rapids and the NTDP U18s coming to town. But coming up after a short break here, we will get into the Phantoms' 2-game sweep of the Chicago Steel. That's coming up next with the Dump and Chase podcast on Western Reserve Radio.
Discount Power Sports at 778 North Main Street in Hubbard is hosting a raffle for a 125cc Pentora ATV. Tickets are $30 each, and 100 tickets are available. For each raffle, when those 100 are gone, a winner will be drawn and a new raffle will begin. Tickets can be purchased at any Hubbard home game or at 778 North Main Street or by calling 330-717-44441. $1,500 from each raffle will go toward a scholarship for the Hubbard Youth Coalition.
Lena's Pierogi House is your home for the area's best variety of pierogies. Daily specials include the Polish platter, the Hungarian platter, stuffed cabbage, and halushki. Having a last-minute get-together? Lena's has you covered with a wide variety of frozen take-home pierogies and dumplings. Go to Facebook at Lena's Pierogi House to see the weekly lineup of available flavors for dine-in or carry-out. Catch the best at Lena's Monday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Tuesday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. 20 North Main Street in Hubbard, or call 234-254-8532.
WWE superstar Alberto Del Rio, take 1.
Behold the angry giant.
Try it again, Alberto.
Behold the angry giant.
Perfect. Good luck tonight.
Behold the angry giant.
Yay! Read me another one, Dad.
This is WWE superstar Alberto Del Rio. It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
Visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
This is Voice of the Phantoms and friend of the show, Matt Lipsack, and you're listening to the Dump and Chase podcast on Western Reserve Radio.
We're back with the Dump and Chase podcast on the home of the Youngstown Phantoms, Western Reserve Radio. So the title of this episode, which is Good Eatin', which unfortunately for you guys, you heard me say this way too many times this past weekend. And we saw, especially the game on Friday, we saw very early on Chicago, and this is continuing a trend from last season, but I think it may be way worse than last season. I have to go back and compare. Chicago right now, Chicago coming into this weekend, if you talk about shot differential, like shots for, shots against, coming into this weekend after, God, how many games was it? Chicago, 15 games. Coming into this weekend, their shot differential was negative 168.
Tell you what, if you're struggling with some offense, the Chicago Steel game a day keeps the doctor away.
After this weekend, Chicago is down to negative 197.
Oh.
And in case you were curious, I don't track the Western Conference, so I don't know what the numbers are there. But as far as the Eastern Conference is concerned, that would put them in last place in the Eastern Conference. The next team above them that is a non-NTDP team would be Green Bay, who is negative 12.
You say negative 12?
Negative 12.
So they're roughly just a couple fries short of being 200 more shots given up to the next team.
They're close. So yeah, there was, coming into this weekend, I had said, and if we had done a show last week, I would have said then as well. But yeah, if you're hurting for shots on goal, if you're hurting for goals, this is the team to get them against, because the eating was going to be good for these guys. So starting out with the game on Friday, that was a 7-2 win for the Phantoms. I'm not going to go through every single stinking goal here. First period, Youngstown goes up 4-0. That was goals by Adam Vanok, Kuzma Voronin, Colson Hanrahan doing his best Connor McDavid impression.
He did.
Picking up his first of the season, and Cade Stangram. Yeah, so Youngstown going into the second period with a 4-0 lead. They would take a 5-0 lead. Cade Stangram getting his second of the game. Chicago would pick up a goal by somebody, who cares. Youngstown would go up 6-1. Jakob Hesch picking up his third of the season. Chicago would get one more there towards the end of the second period. So Youngstown leading 6-2 after 2 periods. And Michael Messick picking up his third of the season in the third period, and that would do it for the scoring.
That's it?
Yeah, that's it. Actually, nope. There's been an update. Youngstown just scored another goal in this game.
Oh, there we go.
In this game, shots on goal, like we just discussed, Youngstown out shooting Chicago 37-18. Youngstown 1 for 4 on the power play. Chicago 0 for 4. Melvin Strahl in the win, stopping 16 of 18. That was his 6th win of the season. So yeah, just you have the weekend before. Youngstown going out to Madison, only picking up 2 goals on the entire weekend. This was a nice bomb to kind of put over that. BALM to put over that.
Definitely. If you are looking to get your stride back offensively, this was the best medicine the doctor could prescribe.
Well, it's Youngstown had Adam Bannock's goal in the first period. That was on the power play. I believe up to that point, Youngstown had 1 shot on goal going into that power play. If we saw it correctly, they had 5 shots on that power play alone.
Yeah.
The power play for the Phantoms this weekend was, I think, they're 2 for 8, but they generated a lot of chances, a lot of good looks, and they had possession. It was a much improved looking power play, even though they didn't get all the goals that they were probably looking to get out of it.
I can say for certain, I'm feeling better about the Phantoms power play than I have for at least in the last 2-3 seasons. There's still work to do. You can see, the pieces are being put into place. But yeah, it's just I'm not feeling kind of that dread with the power play.
They're at least generating chances. Yeah. It's not the same repetitive patterns that we've seen before.
Yeah.
And when they have Bannock and Osborne on that first power play unit, they basically have 2 quarterbacks out there. And they're both equally as good, moving the puck around. So that helps out for sure.
And it's like I said before, until I watched that highlight video before the season of Adam Bannock, I don't know if I ever fully grasped the concept of creating space. It's what Adam Bannock does on the ice is just textbook.
Yeah.
What he does to kind of get himself into areas where he, as the phrase goes, he creates that space for himself. Where you have 1 guy on him, 2 guys on him. He just finds those areas where he's all alone.
Yeah. And I think people coming in, they probably were expecting, around the league, we're probably expecting him to light the score sheet up, which, he's leading the team in points for sure. But he's coming up until this year. He's played on a Olympic-sized ice rink for his whole entire career.
Mm-hmm.
He's coming here with less ice and, he's smarter than everybody else, but he's quicker. And like you said, Sam, he's excellent at creating space for himself, which is becoming paramount now with him playing on a smaller ice rink.
Yeah.
So once he figures everything out like that, it's going to fall back into place for him.
And we're one of those teams that likes to, say, set up the pretty play.
Mm-hmm.
And to be able to buy yourself that extra just split second in those situations, I don't think I've seen a lot better outside of Kyle Connor.
That's high praise right there.
Yeah.
How's the Winnipeg Jets doing? I haven't heard anything.
No.
It's a pretty good year this year for them.
Doing pretty good out there. All right, so moving on to the game on Saturday. This was a 5-4 overtime win for the Phantoms. And Coach Ward had said after the game on Saturday, after Chicago getting beat the way they were beaten on Friday, you knew they were going to come back with a better effort. For the sake of their organization as a whole, you would hope they would come back with a better effort than they did on Friday. Certainly did that. So starting this off in the first period, again, deja vu, Adam Bannock on the power play, getting Youngstown on the board, giving them a 1-0 lead. Followed up by Michael Monroe getting his first of the season. Oh, where'd my thing go? There we go. Getting his first of the season, Youngstown takes a 2-0 lead into the first intermission. Second period, Carter Murphy picks up his first USHL goal early on in the first period, 1:44 in. Chicago would get their first goal later on in the second period. So Youngstown with a 3-1 lead going into the third. At this point, we're feeling good, but things started going a little sideways there in that second period. And Justin, you brought it up just a little bit ago about trying to make the pretty plays. I feel like in the second period, Youngstown was guilty of that more than I would have liked them to be.
Yeah, exactly. It's something I think the coaching staff will work on. But yeah, we sort of expected at that point that we were going to just keep running up the score. And as you pointed out, that's not going to happen in this league. You don't beat a team like that 2 nights in a row.
And when you get to the end of the second period and you realize that Chicago actually outshot Youngstown in the second period 9-6. I'm not sure if Chicago's outshot anybody this season, but the things started getting a little twisted there in the second period. Third period, Chicago getting 2 goals early on in the period. One of those on the power play, coming back to tie the game at 3. Carter Murphy picking up his second of the game, giving Youngstown the 4-3 lead, but only a minute and 32 seconds later, Chicago would tie the game at 4, and we would end the third period that way. The game goes to overtime. Late in the overtime period, Landon Resendez picking up his first goal as a Phantom. Just beautiful play, in on the 3-on-3, have some space to work with, was kind of able to get in between the circles, get the shot on goal. And one of Justin's favorite things, follow the shot.
Yes.
Took the shot, followed the shot because the rebound came out and basically left him with a wide open net. So fairly easy goal for him, giving the Phantoms the game winner there and the 5-4 win. So in this game, Youngstown outshooting Chicago 31-21. Youngstown 1 for 2 on the power play. Chicago 1 for 4. And Owen Lepak stopping 17 of 21, picking up his first USHL win. So congratulations, Owen. I know it's been a little tough sledding for him so far. I feel like a big weight was taken off his shoulders getting this first one.
It was kind of visible in the skate around after the game. You could see he clearly was relieved. Another shout out, Brandon Gotkins' 200th game.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Congratulations, Gooter.
So I'll tell you what, Wardo gave him when they were announced that during the as the game was getting started. Wardo was all over him, pumping him up. That was pretty cool to see. And I think just to go, I have a couple of things to say about the game here. Actually, the whole series in general. Resendez scoring that goal in overtime, hustle without the puck. That is precisely why I think the Phantoms outplayed the Steel. Yeah, they got a lot of offense, of course, but they were extremely lively off the puck, defensively and offensively, and they outworked the Steel both games. Maybe a little bit in the second period where they kind of took their foot off the gas. Maybe not during that period, but as a whole, the Phantoms without the puck were lively. They had active sticks. They were clogging those lanes up. And they're physical. And Chicago does not have a whole lot of size this year. Actually, they really never do have a whole lot of size. But I thought the Phantoms played a great game. It counteracted everything that the Steel tries to do. They try to play more of a finesse style going forward. I think that specifically is what Youngstown's very good at stopping. Now, Chicago's never really worried about keeping other teams out of the back of their net because they've always just been able to score. Past 6 years, I think, have ruined them. They've always been able to put the puck in the back. And other opposing teams back of the net at will sometimes, it seems, with the offensive prowess that they have. This year, they don't have that top line, that second line like they have in the past. And they really never really put a stamp on trying to keep teams out. And when you do that, you don't have a team that can score. That's not a recipe for success for Chicago.
And then they're right at the beginning of the third period on Saturday. I know Dana put a big smile on your face.
The old hammer hands.
The hammer hands getting into a tiny bit of a tussle there.
That was a heck of a tilt.
Let's see. That was Hudson Gorski.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not sure what that was, he was the one after the game with the dent in his face.
Yeah, he's 6'3" too.
I mean, that's, I think, the second really big heavyweight tilt that Hammer Hands has been in this year.
His I guess you could call it his celebration after the fight. Dan, did you catch that?
Oh, looking right at us. Well, he looked at the steel bench, licking that blood off his fingers.
Yeah. Looked over at the bench and started licking his fingers.
Yep.
Like it was a KFC ad or something.
That's a crazy SOB there.
Oh my gosh.
I love that. Everyone saw that happen.
And better news, I mean, from everything I could see, I don't think he's getting suspended this week. So I mean, the last fight he was in, there was a little bit of a incident beforehand that,
Right. I mean, 24 seconds into the period, I don't know what the cutoff is for a staged fight.
That's what I said to you during the game was, I don't think this counts as a stage fight. I mean, there was play going on.
Yeah.
Right.
So
and Hammerhand's celebration after the fight was one of the second coolest celebration I saw. The first one was Resendez sweeping the ice.
Yeah.
Skating in the middle.
After the overtime goal, yeah.
Yeah.
So then after the game on Saturday, of course, Carter Murphy picking up his first two USHL goals. And of course, our guest on this episode, Coach Ward, after the game was asked about the game that Carter played. And this is what he had to say.
Yeah, Murph's best game as a Phantom. He's such a great kid. He works so hard. Unbelievable teammate. Extremely coachable. Hopefully this was a sign of things to come with Murph. I thought not only just the offense that he produced tonight, but the way he, was evasive breaking pucks out, and even on short regroups where he was able to shake a forechecker and make a positive puck play. I thought Murph was great tonight.
All right, so with that, it is now time for the Dump and Chase podcast 3 stars of the week. And kicking it off with the third star is our guest on this week's show, Carter Murphy, picking up his first 2 USHL goals. We've talked a lot about wanting to get more scoring from the Phantoms blue line. Phantoms defenseman, 3 goals this weekend.
That's a good recipe right there.
Yeah. Second star of the week, one of the newer Phantoms, Landon Resendez. Plays with kind of an edge and picked up the EOT game-winning goal on Saturday.
That brings us our first star of the week. That's Kuzma Voronin. He had a goal and 3 assists on the weekend. And in my opinion, I thought this was probably his best weekend as a Phantom. He playing, skating with another gear out there. Lively stick out there on defense, and really, really played well.
Yeah, he was melting some ice in that overtime period for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Second weekend in a row that he's had a breakaway goal for the team.
Yeah, off of a turnover, yeah.
Yeah.
And it was also the USHL star of the day on Friday.
All right, so that will do it for 3 stars and the weekend recap. So we're going to step aside for a short break. This week's edition of Phantom Files with Phantoms defenseman Carter Murphy is coming up next with the Dump and Chase podcast on Western Reserve Radio.
Western Reserve Radio is the Valley's online source for sports talk and local live events. Tune in and be a part of their live weekly shows, as well as all of the hard-hitting action of Youngstown Phantoms hockey, high school football, and the GDFL. Find them at westernreserveradio.com. Tune in and the Live 365 app to be a part of the area's sports conversation. Be sure to visit them on Facebook at Western Reserve Radio and on Twitter at WR_radio.
Hey, let me ask you something. Would you seat your 3-year-old child on a windowsill? Would you seat them beside a lit fireplace or by the deep end of a pool? One last question. Would you seat your child in a car seat that's not correct for them? Car crashes are a leading killer of children ages 1 to 13. Secure their future. Seat them in the correct car seat. For more information, visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Welcome to Calvin's Barbershop.
You all got to see this.
I don't even want to know what you're looking at on that phone.
Well, you should. I was learning about the dangers of high blood pressure and that we need to get ours checked regularly. High blood pressure can increase the risk of heart attack or stroke, but this text program can help keep it at a healthy range. Just text Barbershop to 97779 to sign up.
I'll get right on it as soon as I'm done with this baby panda video.
Text Barbershop to 97779. A message from the American Heart Association and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to the Dump and Chase podcast on the home of Phantoms Hockey, Western Reserve Radio. So for this week's edition of Phantom Files, we welcome to the show for the first time a native of the Woodlands, Texas, who is a Phase 1 4th-round pick of the Phantoms in 2023. After 3 affiliate games with Youngstown last season, he has found a home on the roster and on Saturday notched his first 2 USHL goals as part of a 3-point weekend. He is number 14 defenseman Carter Murphy. Carter, thanks for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
So typically we start off anytime we have somebody new on here. What's your origin story? Like, I mean, I know for you, it's definitely a family affair. It seems like a lot of hockey players in your family. How did you get started?
Born into it. I mean, pretty simple as that. I was fortunate enough to have a dad who had a long career, and I was there to watch his games near the end of his career. But I'm just fortunate enough to have that, and was just born into it. It's always been in my blood, and I don't know. It's just what's right for me.
Your father, Curtis Murphy, AHL legend. I did a little bit of research. Ended up finding out he actually played 5 games with Jeff Rusinski with the Orlando Solar Bears back in 99-2000.
Really?
Yeah. Ryan Rusinski's dad spent 5 games with the Solar Bears that year when your dad was on the roster. So those two actually played together.
I'll probably have to bring that one up to him. I don't know if he knew that, but...
So you had told us beforehand, and you had kind of mentioned it, your interview with Lipper after the game on Saturday. Not only Texas, you did some traveling around the world growing up, as you mentioned, like with your dad. Can you talk about like a little bit like your time in Canada and then again in Europe?
Yeah, well, I moved to Europe when I was quite young, 6 months old. So I didn't really know much, but I was in Switzerland for 4 of his seasons there, and I don't remember too much about that, just maybe a little things around the home and maybe a couple games. I was a little too young to remember too much, but in Austria, we were in Linz, and he played with the Black Wings there. I remember a lot of that, especially kind of just the way everything worked around there. And it was a lot different the way hockey was set up. It was quite year round. You weren't flopping from team to team. You were just in your like city or wherever you have that professional team, and you were just working through the program there. They had off-season stuff for you. And I don't know, it's definitely a different experience, but I loved every minute of it. Learned a bit of German, but growing up, I kind of lost that sadly, but no, it was a good experience over there. And then after he retired, we moved to Canada. We were in Calgary for a bit, played there. We just thought the hockey would be better, but my mom, as a native Texan, she could not handle the weather. I'll be honest. She's not much of a snow person and still isn't. She hates it. But so we moved back home to Texas, where they had a house for a while. We just were renting it out because my dad played for the Astros. So that's where they met. And we were just renting that out and came home and went to school for a bit, and then ended up finding my way in Dallas. That was a really good experience there, that organization. They've done a lot for me, especially friends and family, just making it work there. But no, I've been all over. I've been fortunate enough to experience a lot of things I know most kids my age never got to experience. So it's definitely made me who I am, but everything was worth it. It was awesome.
Now, so how does your mom feel about you going to be playing this winter in Ohio?
She doesn't care. I mean, she knows I enjoy the snow, so I'm a little more cold-blooded than she is, but she's excited. She's just sad I'm far from home. I'm the youngest of 4, so seeing me get out the house and a little farther away from her is definitely a struggle, but no, it's been good. She likes it that I'm up here. She's really happy with my billet family. That was awesome. The way I got set up with that, I came in with them for my 3 games last as my affiliate year, and they took me in again this year. It's been awesome.
So before the season started, you got to participate in the Gretzky Hlinka Cup. There we go. With Team USA. What was that experience like?
That's different. I mean, when you're wearing the red, white, and blue and you go into those international tournaments, it's more about pride, and especially what you're wearing on the front than your name on the back. And that's the case with everything. But when you go to represent your country, it's a little different. And those games they meant a lot to me, especially. But no, it was an awesome trip. The way USA Hockey sets it up was amazing, and it was really good for me. I mean, you experience those things maybe once in a lifetime, and you just really got to enjoy it and enjoy that moment.
So, I mean, not only in this tournament did you tie for the team lead in scoring, was there a sense of relief after the tournament was over that once you left, you only had to defend Adam Banach in practice?
Yeah, that first game was a little tough to see Benny out there and just kind of flying past our defense. That was tough, but you go against players like that, and that's you're fortunate for it, because those are players that you're going to see at the next level and the next and the next. So they really just help you prepare, and I think it's good to see that in practice every day. So
yeah, when you're over there playing with Team USA, everyone you're playing with pretty much is either on the Phantoms this year or you're playing against them in USHL.
Yeah.
How's that feel? Is that like a special kinship you share? Like when you go up against them, do you go up and talk to them before the game, after the game, anything like that?
Yeah, I'm pretty loose before the game. I keep it calm, keep it loose, and crack some jokes. So, I might fly a couple jokes over their way if I see them in the halls or, something like that. So, but no, you don't forget those guys. Like, I learned from my dad, the hockey world's small, and you don't forget a last name, that's for sure, or a name in general. Like, you play against a guy, you'll remember that. And so take that for granted, learning a bunch of people, becoming friends with all those people. It was really good.
So what's it like? What's it been like, especially this season, kind of making that transition from AAA youth to the USHL?
It's definitely different. I mean, it's tough. I mean, just like the day-to-day life, that's probably the hardest thing. I mean, you're waking up, you're at the rink 6 hours a day, and you kind of just you're at that rink, you're grinding, and I mean, every kid's dream is kind of just to move on to that next level and just take that next step. So, like, I was super fortunate for it. And it's a tough step, but I knew I was ready. So I'm just working and working. That's all you can do. You just bury your head and keep going.
Now, you mentioned last year that you got to come and play 3 games with the Phantoms. Not everyone gets to do that. How crucial is that when you come up here for that 10 days or whatever it was? You got some live game action to get you ready for this year.
Yeah, no, the way we do that with bringing in those affiliates it's really good. I enjoyed it so much, just kind of get to know the staff and the players and the culture specifically. I mean, Wardo holds a culture here, and he doesn't let that like shake, or it doesn't change ever. It's a winning culture, and we got to stand by that. So just coming in and getting to see that firsthand it's awesome.
All right, so you score your first goal on Saturday. You get your first 2 goals. Now, we talked with you after the game on Saturday. You were a little iffy on your first goal. Now that you've had a little bit of time to kind of let it sink in, how are you feeling about it now?
I'm still not sure that was my goal. I'm pretty sure it hit Benny, but no, I'll take it. It was a good one to get out the way, and just to get that first is awesome. It's an awesome feeling. The guys on the bench were excited. It was just. There's nothing like it. You won't forget those firsts, that's for sure.
Now, was it your second goal? Was that kind of part of it, that it was a similar scenario to your first? Maybe get one a little cleaner than the first one was?
Yeah, definitely had a little bit better of a shot on that one. And I was just kind of throwing it around the body. I mean, it popped out, just trying to get it off and on my stick as fast as possible while the goalie's moving. You never know. So just throwing it at the net and end up finding the back of the net. It was good. Get the energy up.
Well, just remember at this point, you've scored more goals in the USHL than the 3 of us combined. So, I mean, if one deflected off the back of my head because I was looking the wrong way and went in, I'd absolutely claim credit for it. So,
what he's trying to say is that's a pretty tall achievement there, Carter.
Yeah,
thank you.
Yeah, and I mean, for a defenseman, putting in like 2-in-1 games, a pretty decent for this league, this level. Any hat tricks in your past?
Maybe 1 or 2. I know back in Dallas that last year, I took a step scoring wise, but maybe when I was younger, I don't really shoot for goals. I'm not just a straight shooter. I like to look for that pass and get my teammates involved. But I'm a playmaker before I'm a shooter, so not a lot of hat tricks in my days.
Now, there was a lot going on in the game on Saturday, so I wanted to ask you, in your opinion, which was the better Selly? Was it Hammer with licking his fingers after the fight, or Resendez sweeping the ice after the overtime goal?
I loved both of them. I mean, that's a hard one. I think Landon's might have just held a little more. Just the overtime winner, his first, and pulling out his bag is crazy. But that's just him. So I think it has to be Landon's, but not discrediting Hanny. That was absolutely amazing, and it definitely got me fired up on the bench. So.
All right, so looking ahead to the future a little bit, you're committed to Minnesota Duluth. First off, an excellent choice. What went into your decision in picking Minnesota?
I think it was the staff and just the way they made me feel when I was in Dallas, like around the rink, and just the way they talked to me and about my future. I think that's something that holds a lot of weight to me, and I went with my gut there, and I picked what was right for me. And just being being able to commit to a school like that is just a dream. It's super surreal, and I'm very fortunate.
All right. So before we let you out of here, we're going to do what we call the random questionnaire, and this is going to be about as random as it gets.
All right.
So just do your best to come up with the best answer you can. So starting it off, what is the least amount of money you would take to shave your head?
Least.
What is the least amount of money you would accept to shave your head?
I'm going to 2,000. It's a lot to get my hair off my head, and especially to go that all the way down. Probably 2,000. I think that's the least.
Okay.
Justin, what's yours?
Free.
I was going to say, when it starts to get itchy,
not applicable. All right. So would you rather play with a stick that's 8 inches too short or play as a righty?
8 inches too short. I mean, unless I got really good as a righty out of nowhere, I'm taking that short stick. As a righty, I think it would mess with my skating too. Well, at least that short stick, I can still skate normal. So maybe I get a lucky rebound in front when I have to get knocked down on my knees, and I'm already down there playing with a mini stick. So it's not. I think that'll help. So
played this game before.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So what's your go-to goal, Selly? Hopefully not confusion like your first one.
Yeah, the first one was just, I don't know what that was, but it's all right. You just see me going through the line giving knocks. That's what matters. But I don't know. I just kind of maybe what I did in the second one. I just kicked my leg up. I don't get too fancy, but maybe get on my knee on the ice. But I usually just kick the leg up and throw the stick in the air. Nothing crazy.
If you couldn't suit up for a game, what other job in the arena would you want to do for that night?
I think I'd like to drive the Zamboni. I know back in a couple of the old NHLs, you used to be able to drive the Zamboni and clean the sheet on the controllers. So I enjoyed that as a kid. So I think maybe just a Zamboni driver, get a little ice time, wave at the fans on the glass.
So is that more of like your winter driver training or?
Yeah, that's probably it. Get me ready.
Connor McDavid or Wayne Gretzky?
Wayne Gretzky.
That's the right choice.
Once Connor McDavid's done with his career, I'll be able to say him, but he's still got a little more to prove. So,
all right. And so for the last one here, what's the most embarrassing thing that's ever happened to you during a game?
Well, I know last year in my first game, I did toe pick on a 3-on-2. That wasn't pretty, but I did airmail a couple backdoor passes, and that one might be it. But the toe pick was pretty embarrassing for my first game. I'd have to say that.
And since Sam doesn't seem to be asking it this week, I'll ask it. Did you have a favorite stuffed animal growing up?
No, I wasn't big into stuffed animals. I was actually given a hockey stick, and that was kind of my pride and joy. You'd be surprised. I probably slept with a couple hockey sticks growing up, and might have not been very comfortable when I'm rolling over on them, but I slept through it, so I don't remember.
So another one Cal's got to take to Build-A-Bear.
I didn't ask it just because I was afraid like there was going to be some massive trip to Build-A-Bear and I was going to get blamed for it.
So now I share the blame.
Yep, there you go. Thank you. All right, so we have been talking with Phantoms defenseman Carter Murphy. Carter, really great to get to know you here. Good luck the rest of the season. Of course, stay healthy and really looking forward to what you have in store for us, especially coming up this weekend.
All right, thank you.
All right, so with that, we're going to step aside for a quick break. When we come back, we'll look ahead to the Phantoms 3-game weekend at Cavelli Center. So keep it here with the Dump and Chase podcast on Western Reserve Radio.
This is Voice of the Phantoms and friend of the show, Matt Lipsack, and you are listening to the Dump and Chase podcast on Western Reserve Radio.
Nina's Pierogi House is your home for the area's best variety of pierogies. Daily specials include the Polish platter, the Hungarian platter, stuffed cabbage, and halushki. Having a last-minute get-together? Lena's has you covered with a wide variety of frozen take-home pierogies and dumplings. Go to Facebook at Lena's Pierogi House to see the weekly lineup of available flavors for dine-in or carry-out. Catch the best at Lena's Monday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Tuesday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. 20 North Main Street in Hubbard or call 234-254-8532.
Located in Applewood Estates in Boardman Township, the Applewood Swim and Tennis Club offers a pleasant family environment. Choose a membership that meets your needs and enjoy a relaxing venue that includes not only swimming for the family, but also youth activities such as competitive swimming, tennis, and more. Enjoy the friendly atmosphere all summer long with the staff and members of the Applewood Swim and Tennis Club. For more information, go to applewoodswimandtennis.com or call 330-953-2833.
Accidents happen. That's why you need Repair That Glass. Specializing in windshield replacement and all other auto glass, we offer a full range of automotive glass repairs. Our technicians can do everything from minor chip repair to a complete replacement. Your windows don't go up or down, they can fix that too, along with custom glass work and antiques. Repair That Glass is a family-run business for over 40 years. Repair That Glass. Call for your appointment now at 330-534-3192. Moludic Live is your home for high school sports. We have all the scores on our social media platforms throughout the games. Enjoy our timely updates from local area schools year-round. You won't get the consistency and reliability from anyone else. Our number one priority is servicing our fans and getting them live news as it's happening. Follow us on social media, Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Moludic_Live. And remember, our fans come first.
This is Voice of the Phantoms and friend of the show, Matt Lipsack, and you are listening to the Dump and Chase podcast on Western Reserve Radio.
This is the Dump and Chase podcast on the broadcast home of the Youngstown Phantoms, Western Reserve Radio. So for this week's weekend preview, of course, starting out in the Eastern Conference, I would like to, the one time I'll ever do this, thank the USHL scheduling department, because they actually, all these teams are actually playing the same teams all weekend. They're not bouncing all over the place. So it actually made this very easy.
They did that for you specifically.
Never spoken before.
Yeah. So starting off, Dubuque, they have a home-and-home series this weekend with Des Moines. The game will be in Des Moines on Friday. They are back home in Dubuque on Saturday. Chicago will welcome Lincoln to Fox Valley Zoo and Aquarium for 2 games. Green Bay travels to Fargo, not the fun one in Minnesota, the other one for 2 games. Muskegon heading out to the Tyson Chicken Events Center for 2 games with Sioux City. And the NTDP will be traveling to the Bob Suter Legacy 20 Pawn Shop and Payday Loan Arena for 2 games with the Madison Capitals.
I was wondering what you're going to do with that one. And I like that. I appreciate you, Sam.
Yep. Ditto.
I came up with a couple new ones for the arena names, so I had to list all the other arenas just so I could get to that bit. And then completely random fact, this isn't mind-blowing or anything else. It's just something I just happened to come across. Green Bay last weekend swept Dubuque in the 2 games that they played them. Green Bay over those 2 games was 4 for 4 on the power play.
Ow.
That's pretty good.
So not really earth-shattering, but any little chance to kind of needle Dubuque a little bit.
Yeah. 5 goals total, 4 power play goals.
Green Bay scores 5 goals in those 2 games. 4 of them were on the power play. All right, so that brings us to this weekend with the Phantoms. 2 games with Cedar Rapids coming to town, and then a game on Sunday with the NTDP U18s coming to town. These teams last played October 4th and 5th. They split that series. The games were in Cedar Rapids. Cedar Rapids winning the game on Friday 4-2, and then Youngstown picking up the win on Saturday 3-2. That was the Rusinski game-winning goal with only about 2 minutes left in the game. I know Rusinski game-winning goal. You really have to be very specific on those because there's quite a few. Now, here's the crazy part in the USHL scheduling. These are the last 2 games Youngstown and Cedar Rapids will play in the regular season.
Yeah, and I feel these are 2 teams we see more later in the season. So
yeah, 2 games in Cedar Rapids a month ago, and then these 2 games this weekend, and then that's it with as far as Cedar Rapids is concerned the rest of the season.
That's wild.
Yeah.
So Cedar Rapids coming into this weekend with a record of 5-7-1. That gives them 11 points. They currently sit 7th in the Eastern Conference. Youngstown with a record of 7-7. That is good for 14 points and 5th in the Eastern Conference. Special teams, Cedar Rapids on the power play, 12.7%. That is 13th in the USHL. The penalty kill is at 80.6%, just a little bit better, 12th in the USHL. Youngstown power play, 22.2%. That is 5th in the USHL. And the penalty kill at 82%. That is 6th in the USHL. So right off the bat right there, we always say we feel a little bit better when the Youngstown power play is north of 20%. Which the team has struggled to reach that in the past couple seasons. So right off the bat, early on in the season, when you're still kind of figuring things out and they're over 20%, again, I'm feeling a lot better about the Youngstown special teams, Youngstown power play than I have in the past.
Yeah, I mean, especially Youngstown, I think special teams is important. He who lives by the sword dies by the sword.
Having Bannock on your power play definitely will fudge the numbers in a good, better way for you, for sure.
Cedar Rapids so far this season averaging 2.36 goals per game. They are giving up 3.07. Youngstown averaging 3 goals per game. Seeing that number ticking up a little bit more over the past few weeks. Allowing 2.93 goals per game. So yeah, it's like, I mean, Cedar Rapids obviously a little bit of a funk to start the season. Hopefully that continues for one more weekend, but like it's just such an odd feeling. We're in the talking about the middle of November, and it's the last time we will see Cedar Rapids.
Yeah,
unless there's a playoff matchup, come April.
Yeah, and this will be the weekend that it'll be a homecoming post trade of Sam Rinaldo and Grant Young, and for whatever reason, whenever there's a Phantom player that's traded away, there's never seems to be any love lost. It's all good before the game, but when the game starts, it's like you're never teammates before. But
yeah, there's another trend to returning players, but we're not going to say it out loud.
No, I will keep my mouth shut.
So yeah, I mean, Cedar Rapids comes in. They're like you said, Sam. They're kind of reeling. I'm not going to say the wheels are falling off just yet, but they're in a bad way. And I hope Youngstown, they've been inconsistent with their results, where they win 2, lose 2, and then they split other weekends. Having 5 straight home games. Like to see them get on a little roll and keep trending in the right direction, scoring goals and playing good, solid defense.
We definitely do better at home. We're 2 games above 500 at home and 2 below 500 away. I think having the home ice advantage this weekend is huge.
Yeah, I agree. I think Sam poked fun at my favorite player, Hajibi from Cedar Rapids. He's a good player. And with everything, all the roster movement they've been having going on, I think if Youngstown can keep him off the score sheet in any shape, 2 points or under for the weekend, I think they'll have a very successful 2 games against Cedar Rapids.
I poke a little bit of fun at you with Hajibi, but
he is a good player.
You know what? At the end of the day, I think he'd look great in a Youngstown jersey.
Absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
I think the purple and orange would really suit him.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Cedar Rapids coming into this past weekend was actually on a 5-game losing streak. Only played 1 game this last weekend. Actually did meet Madison 5-3. So they've got one up on us there.
Yep.
I mean, that's just how the league goes.
They solved the Madison Rubik's Cube we have not figured out yet. So yeah, and then the game on Sunday, the NTDP U18s coming to town. This is only the 18 squad's 5th game of their USHL schedule this season, and it's their first USHL game since September 28th.
I forget what tournament they've been playing in. One of those random ones.
Yeah, I don't know. The U18s coming into this game with a record of 2-2. Beyond that, really not much else I can go on.
We saw the U17s last year. Obviously, we expect a lot better of a fight back from them this year, but it's still early. So,
in my opinion, the best player that they had coming into this year was LJ Mooney, and he's out for an extended period of time because of an injury. So,
did not know that.
That'll help us out a little bit.
Yeah,
I think.
All right. So, and get ready for this. Get out a piece of paper and a pencil, pen, whatever. Make sure you write this down because this is going to be a fun one this weekend. The game on Friday is a 7:05 puck drop. The game on Saturday is a 6:05 puck drop, and the game on Sunday is a 4:05 puck drop. Really be paying attention to the schedule. Don't come walking into the arena halfway through the first period like some people we know on Saturday. Love you, Barb. For tickets, you can call the Phantoms box office at 330-747-PUCK. That is 330-747-7825. If you can't make it to the game, you can catch the video stream on Flow Sports or the audio stream on Western Reserve Radio with Voice of the Phantoms and friend of the show, Matt Lipsack, on the call. So that will about do it for this episode. We're going to step aside one more time, and then we'll tie a bow on this one and look ahead to next week. So one segment to go. Keep it here with the Dump and Chase podcast on Western Reserve Radio.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. You can make a difference by dropping off a hot meal and saying a quick hello. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
People been saying to your friend, get a different face, and posting on their feed, they're super ugly. The things they say to them online are cruel and they're not true. So tell your friend, I'll stand up for you. Don't worry, I know what to do.
Know someone being bullied online? You can be a witness and make a difference by letting the world know it isn't cool and by letting your friend know you care. Learn more at eyewitnessbullying.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
In the small town of Elmira, New York, a boy was born into an all-American family. The odds of him achieving his dream in the fashion industry? 1 in 23 million. The odds of having a child diagnosed with autism? 1 in 68. I am Tommy Hilfiger, and my family is affected by autism. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
We're back, and that will do it for this edition of the Dump and Chase podcast. A special thanks to our guest, Carter Murphy, for coming on the show, and a very special thank you to all of you for not abandoning us after we took 1 week off. We've taken weeks off before. This is the first time I've ever heard anybody be upset about it.
I mean, I'm impressed people even noticed.
Were you upset? Were they upset that we were coming back this week, or were they upset we took a week off?
We took a week off. Surprisingly enough, because we took a week off.
All righty.
And I caught hell for it when it was Justin's fault. Justin, apologize.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Not sorry.
Sam was letting you marinate in that.
What beautiful lukewarm sentiments there. Thank you, Justin. So on next week's show, we'll hopefully be recapping a large point haul for the Phantoms, as well as going on and on and on about not having a repeat of last season, as the boys will be traveling to Omaha for 2 games. So however it is you prefer to listen to this show, there are 2 options to do so. The first is Western Reserve Radio on Wednesdays at 5 p.m. and their various outlets. Unless I'm late getting the episode to them, then probably on Thursday, which honestly, next weekend could be a possibility. If we have a game on Sunday, I doubt we'll be recording Sunday night.
No.
So
you will not want to hear me after that.
So next week's episode may not be out until Tuesday night, Wednesday morning. So just
I'm still recovering from time change.
The second way you can listen to the show is in podcast form on whatever and wherever you enjoy your favorite podcasts. Hopefully we're somewhere in your top 50. You can find us all on social media, mainly Facebook and Instagram. And don't forget to check out our merch store at dcpodshop.com, because that is how we pay the bills, and our prices are much better than you will find in certain other places.
Oh, ew. Shots fired.
So before we get out of here, to my co-hosts Dan and Justin, and to a captivated audience that hasn't turned off this episode because the ending always sounds the same, any final words of wisdom?
Don't eat the yellow snow.
Are you saying that because Carter Murphy and snow and stuff?
Oh no,
snow, no. Okay,
no. I have nothing for words of wisdom.
I don't know how I can follow that up, but keep it rolling, Sam.
So, as always, hockey is a sport played on ice with sticks and a puck, and our podcast is a thing you just listen to. Why, I don't know. See ya.
Did you just know not to eat the yellow snow, or did you try and find out?
No, I listened to Frank Zappa. It's all good.
During the fall and winter, grilling season never ends, and Gessler Propane is your local supplier that makes sure you get your hard-earned money's worth. Why go to gas exchanges to pay higher prices for tanks not filled to capacity? Gessler Propane makes sure you're prepared for year-round grilling with 100% filled tanks at a reasonable cost. See Bob Monday through Friday, 10 to 4, and Saturday, 9 to 3.
So next week's episode may not be out until Tuesday night, Wednesday morning. So just
I'm still recovering from time change.
The second way you can listen to the show is in podcast form on whatever and wherever you enjoy your favorite podcasts. Hopefully we're some...
Youngstown, Warren, and Salem's local and national sports talk can be found on TuneIn and the Live 365 app at Western Reserve Radio, WRDB, The Scourge.
In 30 minutes, his best bets for the weekend in football, college and the NFL. And also we'll get to our in-pocket plays as well, recapping last night's bets and tell you what we're betting moving forward. I can't wait for Friday because of the fight. I'm super intrigued to see what happens.
It's an event.
It really is.
Yeah, I know.
Just like he was when we were younger, growing up, you had to go to a house party to watch Mike Tyson fights. I don't care where you lived and who you were rooting for. You had to watch them.
I know, but you knew what was going to happen. That was the other thing. And it was just it was a definition of insanity. One of my friends would order every Tyson fight, and then it's like, okay, well, that took 90 seconds. Now what? And that's what it was.
Right.
You pay the $50, and then bam, it was over.
Until he bit Holyfield's ear.
Yeah, but that's what I said earlier. We've interviewed the guy many times, and it's one of the most amazing turnaround /180s ever with what a guy's done, where he was just, a lunatic, and the Robin Givens interview, and living with tigers and biting ears, and then he's just kind of like your crazy uncle. And what happened, and then he's in Hangover and singing and on Roast and doing all this wild stuff, and the transformation of Mike Tyson now. And even he did the Broadway show out here, the one-man show. He went to see Chaz Palminteri do a one-man show at Bronx Tale, which is awesome. And Mike Tyson was in the audience, goes, I can do that. And he did, and Spike Lee got involved. And we saw both shows, and I can't believe Mike Tyson could do that.
He went from the American public being almost deathly afraid of the guy, thinking he was one of the most despicable human beings ever, to a beloved character because of the Hangover.
Right, let's hang out with the guy. You think it was that much?
I think the Hangover thing made millions of people do a 180 on the guy.
Wow. But it goes back to what happens in the ring. And will he panic?
He's 58.
I know. And what if he can't knock the guy out early? Stamina, conditioning, padded 14-ounce gloves, 8 rounds, although it's 2 minutes, hasn't won a fight since 2003. So what happens if he can't get Paul early?
That's exactly right. I want to bet Tyson to win because in my head I'm thinking he catches him once early, it's curtains. But I also feel like a chump saying that.
Yeah. And what happened down the stretch, though? Remember the back end of his career? He lost to some bad guys.
Oh, my God.
His huge favorites.
Oh, he never had a chance against tomato cans.
No.
It was embarrassing what happened to him. And that's 20 years ago plus. So this is in today's VSiN newsletter from Bill 80. Great job writing this up. So some of the rules, by the way. The fight is sanctioned by the state of Texas. Their gloves are 14 ounces, not 10. The rounds will be 2 minutes instead of 3.
Big.
And the fight is scheduled for only 8 rounds.
Big.
Absolutely.
It's not hard to see the finish line. And if your stamina is a problem, you just sit there. And why I think this could be maybe like a play patty cake. I'll tell you what I did in a second.
So he reached out, Bill did, to Circus Sports risk manager Dylan Sullivan. And Dylan said, quote, my approach is Tyson is old, has no power, and probably cannot defend himself. Jake is young and juiced up. I don't think Tyson can hurt Paul or win in 4 rounds. So my approach is to let the people bet Mike Tyson. End of quote. And they're in fact, now they're taking more money here on Paul. Again, it just went up. So you're going to be, if you want to bet Tyson, the way it looks, we're now, 48 hours, 51, 52 hours or whatever removed from the fight. He might go up to like a $3 dog in this fight.
The other thing, too, about being an event and you knew what was going to happen, every Floyd Mayweather fight, they Mayweather by decision.
I love betting his fights.
People, yeah, right.
It was awesome.
Never lost and everything went over. So
he also reached out, by the way, to Lou Finocchiaro.
Sure.
He will not have a bet. He said, no, sir, it's a gimmick. Mike has 2 minutes to finish it. That's it.
See, I agree with that. Now, if you like Tyson to win, here's how you bet Tyson. Round 1, 13-1. Round 2, 14-1. Round 3, 15-1. What, Mike Tyson's going to win by decision?
Cannot see that happening.
Mike Tyson's the 58-year-old guy's going to catch him in the 6th, 7th, or 8th round. So don't take like the whatever it is right now to win a fight. Take Tyson to finish him in one of the first 3 rounds. Because I agree with Lou. If he doesn't get him early, he's not going to get him.
Yep.
And then if Paul wins a couple rounds, he'll just dance and move around. And that'll be it. And then just think about how fast that is, though.
2 minutes?
2 minutes. Whoop, there you go.
We've been on the air this segment for 5 minutes already.
Yeah.
That's 2.5 rounds right there.
Think about how fast that is.
Okay.
So, G-Bank, best bet of the day. 2 things. The fight to go the distance plus 170 and over 4.5 rounds. I agree with Lou. I also agree with Joe Osborne that once Mike can't get him early, he'll get frustrated. Paul will dance. Paul will win by decision. And then there's your distance. And there's your Paul by decision is 295 though too. But maybe there's a chance Mike does something weird at the end, and maybe Paul can catch the old man too.
Right.
But over 4.5 and go the distance plus 170. Best bets brought to you by G-Bank, the official bank of VEASAN. The G-Bank Visa signature card, your best bet, delivering a 1% cash back rewards on eligible gaming transactions. 2% cash back rewards on all their eligible transactions. For more info, head to VEASAN.com/GBank. VEASAN.com/GBank. Subject to credit approval.
I put a Twitter poll up earlier this morning. You can go vote at Mitch Moss Radio. What is your plan for the Tyson-Paul fight on Netflix? I put up 3 options. 31% say they're going to only watch the fight. 28% said they're going to watch and bet it. 41% they're not going to watch or bet. Have nothing to do with it. But 59% said it's either going to be watching or they're going to be watching and betting. I think it's going to have a huge audience.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Can I entice you in this? There was a so there's a book here in Las Vegas that's kind of the same thing as FanDuel, but it's not called FanDuel, it's called Boyd. So you can probably find this at FanDuel as well in other states. Ton of props on the fight. It's awesome. They call it Gone in 60 Seconds. You can bet.
I like the movie.
You can bet it 3.
Did you like the movie?
I never saw it.
Nick Cage, Jolie? Okay.
So Mike Tyson to win in 60 seconds is 23-1. Jake Paul to win in 60 seconds is 28-1. Either to win in 60 seconds, 14-1.
Oh, God.
That can happen.
Oh, boy.
Isn't there a path for both these guys to get knocked out? Can Paul looks good, by the way. He kind of knows what he's doing. I'm not going to sit here and call the guy a joke or a bum.
Well, this is the one time with the poll I would say you just want to watch it and that's it. That's fine. Because this is a circus. This is like Thunder Lips against Rocky. Some of this
they should be calling it that.
It could be like this too. I mean, I guess I can't rule it out because anything's possible. It could be a freak show.
All right, to be knocked down, Jake Paul is plus 172 to get knocked down, just once from Tyson. Mike Tyson to get knocked down, minus 118.
Wow.
Like total knockdowns.
Yeah.
Half. Over minus 270, under plus 175. If you think we're going to have over 1.5 knockdowns, you can grab plus 120. Do we get at least one knockdown in the fight? Unless they just go out there and agree, like we're going to dance for 16 minutes here and we're going to pepper each other and not really take it seriously. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think we're going to get some haymakers here.
I'm worried about an agreement. Aren't you? Like, hey, let's take it easy on each other and let's...
Do we know what both guys are getting paid?
I don't know that.
To be knocked down and win
Oh, come on.
Tyson 17-1, Jake Paul's plus 650.
Okay, not bad.
I could see
These
Paul
are creative.
I could see Paul getting knocked down right away from Tyson.
Yeah.
He gets back up, then Tyson loses all stamina. It goes to the distance, and then Jake Paul wins the fight. I think that can happen.
We see this all the time, though, about because Humans is going to make his case for Tyson coming up, and he's going to show some video. But all these guys where, hey, you can look good, and like, look at Conor McGregor. His cardio sucks. But then he's ripped, but he always gets tired, and that's
true.
So Mike looks good in the workouts and everything, but then once you get to round 3, talk to me.
Well, you can't, this video, I should say, of the multiple videos I've watched, it's great for 15 seconds.
You remember
You're exactly right.
Okay, remember Phil Baroni, that lunatic who choked me out? It's on YouTube. He was ripped. The New York Badass. His cardio was terrible.
He'd be done in the first round.
If he didn't get you in the first round, it was over too. You just take him to the ground and that's it. But he looks like a badass here, and it's like, please, Mike, don't hurt me. But it goes back to how long can he last?
Yeah, he's not going to throw the fists of fury for 3 consecutive rounds.
Yeah.
He's going to be a dead man in the ring.
Oh, boy.
He won't be able to breathe anymore.
It's a tough handicap. Maybe he embarrasses himself. And it's just, but you got to think, to your point, you have to go back to how bad his career ended.
Right.
He was struggling with hand-picked opponents.
Oh, yes.
So, and the dogs were cashing at big prices.
I just think it's so creative, though. You can bet again.
Yeah, right.
So if you think, will Paul win between rounds 5 and 8 is plus 410. And again,
that's not bad.
Yeah.
5, 8. Okay,
5 through 8. Tyson to win in rounds 1. Did you have 1 through 3?
No, I have round 1, round 2, round 3.
Oh, individually.
Goes up 13, 14, 15. And yes.
I
right.
have Tyson to win anytime between rounds 1 and 4 is plus 360.
Okay. Okay.
Because is Tyson going to beat him in rounds 5 through 8? That's 10-1.
No way.
I cannot see that happening.
No way. Decision is plus 825. Could someone get hurt? Remember Tyson tore his ACL in the ring one day. They had to call it. He couldn't move.
Yeah. He said he's got to bring the devil in himself out.
I saw that.
If we get that version of Tyson, then yes, anything can happen.
Oh, I know. That goes back to what if something snaps? Like, I don't want to be here anymore. I'm frustrated. Why did I do this? It's the 5th round. Get me the hell out of here.
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, he's capable of anything.
Come on. You're telling me that you've listened to us for the last 11 minutes and you're not going to watch or bet on the fight? Come on. You know you're going to at least watch it. You have to have eyeballs on that thing.
Yes. Not a good college football schedule. Yes. You gotta check it out.
All right. We'll hit some NBA props in the card in the NBA Cup coming up on Follow the Money. It's VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
With the Bloomberg Business of Sports Report, I'm Charlie Pellet, brought to you by Dell.com. Get ready for the Andy Murray Show. The retired tennis star is making a 4-stop theater tour next year. The last show will be June 29th, the day before play gets underway at Wimbledon. GoDaddy will be returning to the Super Bowl this year. After 8 years, GoDaddy will be promoting its Aero product, which is an AI-powered experience for small businesses. The website company said it bought a 30-second spot that will air in the fourth quarter. Netflix, meanwhile, says it has sold out its ad inventory for Christmas Day NFL games. That according to Sports Business Journal, citing Ad Age. And NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell has an answer for German fans who are wondering about rumors that the league could be heading to their capital city of Berlin. He says, quote, "Believe it." And that's the Bloomberg Business of Sports Report. I'm Charlie Pellet.
Find what you love, love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. All kinds of beers and thousands of wines. Guides in the know and prices so low. It just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
Only at Total Wine & More. Drink responsibly. Be 21.
Doors take us to summers away or winter adventures and afternoon getaways. Your dedicated Fidelity advisor can help you open those doors by working with you on a comprehensive plan to help you reach your wealth's full potential. Because doors were meant to be opened. Visit fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimum supply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC, member NYSE SIPC.
Join us on a numbers game where Gil Alexander takes you on an informative and entertaining ride, focusing on the numbers that fuel today's bettors.
The Pittsburgh defense is amazing. I'm not doubting that. You think it's impressive, but you don't get how impressive it is. Okay, Mr. Football, we get it. Why do we bet baseball and tennis and other things? Because this league is mashugana.
He sets the table as the money comes in each day, helping you become a sharper bettor. Catch a numbers game weekdays at 10 a.m. Eastern.
You're listening to Western Reserve Radio at westernreserveradio.com on the Live 365 network and the Live 365 app.
This is Matt Lipsack, the voice of the Youngstown Phantoms, and your home for Phantoms hockey is Western Reserve Radio.
This is Everett Fitzhugh, the radio voice of the NHL Seattle Kraken, and you're listening to the home of the Youngstown Phantoms, Western Reserve Radio.
Make it rain with Adam Shine. Weekdays at 3 p.m. Eastern, only on VSiN, the sports betting network.
This is Follow the Money on VSiN.
Thanks for the feedback, by the way, on X. And also, Luke, our producer, found it as well. There are reports out there saying that Jake Paul is going to make about $40 million from the fight. Mike Tyson's going to make about $20 million. Is that?
Well, if you look at it and you go to try to sign up on Netflix, I'm trying to think what the offers were. Was it $100 for a year and then you can go ads or without ads?
Yep.
And it just gets you in. Okay, here comes Squid Game 2 at the end of December, the biggest thing going. Here comes another season of Stranger Things. And they just think, okay, enough people buy that and get on it, right?
And
that does seem a lot, right? But look how much money they pay the comedians. Didn't they give Chappelle like $20 million?
Oh, they give him a ton of dough.
Yeah, so.
Guess what Jake Paul is worth?
I don't want to. I don't even want to know.
Can I tell you?
No.
Can you close your ears? I have to tell the audience now.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah.
Go ahead.
$80 million.
No, he's not.
That's the first thing that popped up.
Is he the one that did the video of the
YouTube
dead
stuff,
people?
Yeah. Oh, I think so. I think that was him.
Is that the same guy?
Yeah.
Well, how do we get here? What's going on? Oh,
and his brother.
Okay. Yeah.
Tyson went from broke to $300 million to broke again. Oh, he's had quite the life.
Oh, no. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
No kidding.
The stories that we've heard out here that we probably can't even tell on the air what he was like.
Well, then the entourage, he was paying the cell phone bills for like 100, 200 people.
Yeah.
What he was doing. But plenty of stories. Absolutely. Colorado, Kentucky, Louisiana, New York, Pennsylvania, Vermont. You can't bet the fight in those states. That's another layer to it.
You okay with that?
Yeah.
Or is it just like...
Worried about shenanigans?
Yeah, of course. You have no idea what's going to happen here. Paul's got a lot of pride. He said that, I think one of the quotes was, I'm going to make $40 million and knock out a legend. Right? Because how many guys...
Yeah, I know, but he's 58, though. It's not like he's...
Yeah, but okay, Paul,
that doesn't...
Paul, if you got into a fight right here in the middle of the sports book in a ring with Mike Tyson and you knocked him out, you're telling me that you would not go scoreboard every minute of your life until you were dead? Because I would. I don't care where I would go. I would make an announcement, whatever room I would walk into. Hey guys, I knocked out Mike Tyson. Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, it's kind
and
of.
I'm not even that kind of a guy. But that's like that. The bragging rights. It's off the charts.
What if I hop on the good foot and do the bad thing with Megan Thee Stallion, but she's 55 and I don't?
Then use somebody who's 55. Halle Berry. You're not going to brag about that?
Okay,
come on. Of course you are. Mariah Carey still looks great. She performs in Vegas all the time. Let's say she sees you playing video poker one time at Park MGM. Who's that?
I know, but it's like the age thing. We do this all the time. Like Michael Jordan could still come out and beat these guys. Remember, he played Kid Gilchrist one-on-one and beat his ass. Right. The year he was a top 5 pick. And like Jordan just rolled out of bed. Okay, let's go, rookie. And he spanked him. And it's like, okay, but it's kind of more of what do you have to lose thing? Nothing to gain. Like, I'm 25.
Oh, you have plenty to gain if you knock out Mike Tyson. Right?
I don't know about the bragging. I don't know.
Luke?
I don't know.
What do you guys say back there?
At 58?
Talk amongst yourselves back there. What do you guys come up with here? You would not wear that proudly?
Yeah, but not me, but this guy. This guy's training. This guy has done this before.
Yeah.
He's a boxer. I'm saying that's to take the victory lap and say I told you so and whatever.
Well, again,
the guy's almost 60 years old and he was out of the racket a long time and